everybody, as you can see, Christmas colors are coming out. So, you know, Bob Ryder and Helen Carr made edible wreaths for birds. They sent us some pictures. Helen noticed that the birds were eating from the top down, so she wrapped that part in red ribbon to encourage the birds to eat from the bottom up. So if you've tried the recipe, please share some pictures with us. Alright, we're continuing to make edible treats for birds. This is something that I tend to do during the holiday season, but actually this can be done any time of the year. So I am making garlands that I'm gonna hang on one of our white pines that's actually located right next to our bird feeding station. So I know that the birds will go back and forth and it will look so pretty as well. Look, I've already made one. I'm just gonna show it to you like this. All right, there we go. So you can use whatever fruit you have in your household. I had oranges and apples, but if you have pineapples, bananas, try them out. It all depends, you know, where you live and what kind of birds you have. I'm actually hoping that maybe cedar waxwings show up to try these out as well. So what you'll need is twine like this. Then make sure you have a thick needle like this. I didn't have any in my household. I actually had to go to a friend to pick it up. Wax paper to line a tray where you're gonna lay everything out. And then mixed seeds. Here I chopped up some peanuts and I mixed them with black oil sunflower seeds and safflower seeds. And then I also had some corn kicking around in our household because I used this to feed jays early in the summer. They were quite fond of that, so I still have some left. Then you'll need peanut butter, natural peanut butter. My household eats crunchy peanut butter, but the smooth one will also work quite nicely. If you don't want to use peanut butter, or if you want to complement and do something else, you can also melt any kind of animal fat. Here I have beef tallow. Or if you don't have anything like that, you can simply buy a suet cake and melt that, throw it in the microwave and it will melt. Just you'll have to work quite quickly because it sets and becomes quite thick very fast. And then for your fruits, this is something I have learned over the years. Make sure that you cut the slices quite thickly. See? Because I think a couple of years ago I cut them very thinly and then they just fell apart as I was threading them. So I guess that's about it. Now let me show you how I made this garland and then we're gonna go and decorate our tree. All right, so take a piece of apple. You can do this to oranges as well. Here I didn't, but I will with other garlands. So then you smear peanut butter over half of it like that on all sides. So you smear it like that. And then you dip it in whatever seed mix you have. Like that. Shake it off. And then just lay it out. And leave it for some time so it all settles. You see, this one I made a couple of hours ago, so I'm gonna show you how I thread it in a minute. So let's do one with an orange. So here, peanut butter again. Doesn't stick that well, but just keep doing it and it will. So again, a little bit of seeds, shake it off. Oh, so pretty. All right, so, and then you just continue with all the fruits that you want to work with, and then once they all settle, so I have two here that I still had from my previous batch. So you take the needle, and you just thread it like this. Yeah, move this over. Same with the next one. Oops. And just continue until you're done and you're happy with the amount of garlands that you have for your birds. came across this picture on Twitter, so I reached out to Danielle Cooper, who took it. She lives in British Columbia, where Anna's hummingbirds are present all year round. They don't migrate. But BC gets some cold snaps, so Danielle uses incandescent Christmas lights to prevent hummingbird nectar from freezing. So if you're in the same area, please try it out. What a pretty way to help out hummingbirds. James Kirk would like to know if olive harvesting that was sucking up birds at the same time ever stopped.
Hi James, I'm so glad that you brought this issue to my attention once again. I'd last reported on this barbaric practice in May of 2019 when it was first placed in the public eye. We're referring to the millions of birds that are killed each year during the harvesting of olives by being sucked up in huge vacuum machines at night while they're roosting in the trees. It's claimed that harvesting in the cool of the night provides fresher, better tasting olives. The most recent mortality figures I could find were about 2.6 million birds in the Andalusia region of Spain and 96,000 in Portugal. This cruel, super intensive harvesting procedure is also used in Italy and France, but no mortality data are available. The latest news I could find on halting nighttime harvesting was in 2020. Both Spain and Portugal have agreed to a temporary ban, with the former country undertaking studies to examine the impact of the practice on migratory bird populations, and the latter country reassessing the ban on a yearly basis. Hopefully, these temporary bans in those two countries might influence France and Italy to follow suit. Greece claims that it doesn't employ this harvesting method, instead relying on traditional procedures. Whether it has an impact or not on populations, I think we can all agree that it's a very inhumane way for any bird to die, and it must be banned permanently everywhere. How can you help? Insist upon buying organic olives that are not harvested in this manner. For a partial list of some good brands to buy and which ones to avoid, take a peek at the table in the website www.ethicalconsumer.org and search for bird deaths and olive harvesting under food and drink.
A couple of things on EnviroMinute. If you put up Christmas lights, please remember not to leave them on 24/7. This is not only to reduce energy consumption, but also blue LED lights disrupt sleep patterns, and this might affect you, your neighbors, and the birds that might be roosting in your neighborhood. And when it comes to Christmas wrapping, in our household, we've been using recycled paper from Publisacs, we call them, the circulars, because it all actually ends up in the recycling anyway. And then I also send presents to my friends and family abroad in this paper because they all get such a kick out of looking at things and products here in Canada or reading up on news in our local community. So try it out.
We've always known that hummingbirds use visual cues to locate flowers and collect their nectar. And they can even use their amazing spatial memories to remember what flowers they've visited. But who would have thought that they also use smell? Ashley Kim and her co-investigators at the University of California at Riverside decided to put this to the test by offering over 100 hummingbirds a choice between two feeders. One with just sugar water in it and another with added scents indicating the presence of certain insects. You see, bees, wasps, and ants not only drain the nectar in the flowers they visit, they can also repel hummingbirds from flowers they occupy. Wasps physically chase them off, whereas ants deposit irritating formic acid. Because these creatures sometimes deposit chemical cues during foraging and agonistic interactions, the researchers wanted to find out if bees use smell as a part of their procedure to avoid wasting time on flowers already visited by other nectar seekers, or worse, being physically repelled by competitors. The results were interesting. Kim and her team found that their hummingbirds did indeed avoid flowers with the scent of two kinds of ants, but not less harmful honeybees. But would that mean that hummingbirds would also avoid sugar water feeders if wasps and/or ants had left chemical cues on them? While the scientists did not test that hypothesis, I'm guessing that the hummers will not avoid them for several reasons. First, I'm not sure that wasps and ants can effectively leave chemical cues on a smooth plastic feeder. And second, unlike flowers, feeders are only limited in the nectar they supply by how often we fill them. Third, I don't believe that hummingbirds use the same foraging strategies with our feeders. If the wasp and ants are not present on a given feeder, that should mean open season for any hummingbird.
The Christmas bird count is taking place from December 14th to January 5th, and they need our help. I came across a poster by Wild Birds Unlimited store in Kanata, Ontario, and they were actually announcing this on social media that they're looking for people to help them out during the Christmas bird count. So here's their poster. If you live in that area, please get in touch with them and they'll let you know what needs to be done. And for everyone else, find the map, zoom in on your area. You will see the name of the compiler. That's the person who's in charge of your Christmas bird counts. Get in touch with that person and they'll let you know how to get involved. Well, it's time to say goodbye. Have fun making edible garlands for birds. Our photo contest is still open. It's holiday magic, and photoshopping and all sorts of creative modifications are allowed. Have fun, everybody. I'll see you in 2 weeks.